Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 7 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I had a conversation once with a man who told me he was an atheist, and the significant difference between an agnostic and an atheist is an agnostic questions the existence of God. An atheist is sure that there is no God. And so I said to him, well, do you believe in Jesus Christ? And he said, no, I told you I'm an atheist. So I said, well, what exactly don't you believe in? He said, I don't believe in him. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, you can't just say you don't believe in a person. Do you believe in any philosophers that have ever lived? Oh, yeah. He said there's a lot of philosophers I subscribe to. I believe in a lot of stuff as long as it's logical. Logic is the argument of atheists. I said, what did Jesus say exactly that you don't agree with? And he really didn't have an answer. He was just adamant that he didn't believe in Jesus. And I remember thinking to myself, gosh, he doesn't know what Jesus said. He just doesn't know. And maybe I can't blame him. Maybe we've had religious teachers in the course of our lives that have changed the meaning, changed the words, changed the intent. I don't know. But I think when I was a kid, I got this Bible with red letters in it. And it made a lot of difference to me because I'm not a biblical scholar. I wasn't then, and I'm certainly not now. But just being able to separate, okay, these are the words that Jesus said, the ones in red, right? Mm-hmm. Make a big difference. There is a gentleman on the phone. He's been with us before. I wasn't sure, Robin, but Don Harris has been with us before. He is the host of the daily Red Letter Edition live radio program. He's the director of the Think Red Inc. Ministries International, and he's a former pastor. And his book and audio series, which I do have a clip from it, I'll play a little bit in just a second, but it's called Think Red Inc., a thinking man's journey to discover the scriptural identity of Messiah and himself. And in some ways, this is Don's memoir, or maybe you would say autobiography as well. Good morning, Don. How are you? Are you there? Don?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Gosh, I hope there's not
happy as I can be.
All right. There might be a delay. It sounds like that you're taking a while to hear me, so I apologize for that. Where are you calling from? Are you in Melbourne, Florida?
No, that's where I was born, as a matter of fact. And I used to live in Ocklawaha, so
you did?
I'm an old fan.
Nice.
All right. Were you in the studio with us?
Hi, Robin.
Hi.
Actually, no. I'd written a book earlier, The Red Letter Question, and did an interview about that.
So, and where are you right now? Oh, did I ask you? Where are you?
In Pie Town, New Mexico. P-I-E Town, New Mexico.
Oh, wow. Pie Town.
Yeah.
That's a nice name. That sounds like a good name to me.
Sounds delicious, doesn't it?
It does.
and anybody with $25 can get one of those pies.
So when I in the course of knowing other people on this planet in my lifetime, if I meet anybody who lies a lot, and we all know people who've lied. It doesn't mean you don't like them. It just means you know that you can't really depend on anything they tell you because it could be a lie. It might be to boast. It might be to cover something up. Who knows? But if they lie, sure, you're pretty much now. But on the other hand, if you know somebody who would never lie to you,
yeah,
the person I want to be to my son is that person. Now, I might tell you a lie, Don, but I don't think if my son could ask me anything. I remember when he asked me if I believed in Santa Claus, and I had to really find my words for that one because I didn't want to blow it, but at the same time I didn't want to lie. Okay.
Sure.
So when I look at the words of Jesus, and I say to myself, this guy never lied. This man that we call Jesus, he never told. Everything makes sense. And so
his dad had the attribute of, I'm saying God the Father, had the attribute of the God who cannot lie.
Oh, yes,
So, I mean,
good point. Good point. And
Yeah.
and so what I think is this: that in my struggles to try to understand the resurrection, in my
Yes.
quest to try to understand what the life of Jesus meant, I kind of took my doubts and used the atheists will say you have to use logic. Well, I did use logic. I did use logic. And logically, somebody who tells the truth all the time tells the truth all the time. And so why would he lie about returning? Why would he lie about the resurrection when everything else was the truth?
Yeah, I see what you mean, and an honest atheist, and unfortunately, they're not that common. And I'm not just speaking derogatorily about atheists in general, mind you. It is that they have an agenda, and that is to eliminate God from their life. In many cases, that is the case. But when they make the argument of logic, I'm all for logic. I happen to believe, differently than most of my constituents, that logic is not a threat to the gospel. I don't believe that it has any.
Thank you.
It doesn't threaten it at all.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. And so I try to approach the scriptures in a logical way, because I found that it doesn't change anything. Now, the honest atheist will tell you, look, okay, Jesus raised from the dead, or he's going to raise us from the dead, all these fairy tales. There's no reason to believe this not because Jesus is lying to us, but because of translations and fairy tales that have been attributed to him and these kind of things. So the honest atheist has a tougher argument, and that is, we cannot know. And that's where the word agnostic comes from. Agnostic simply means we can't know, or we don't know,
Because it's in writing and it's not firsthand knowledge.
Right.
Right.
And so
right.
their concern is almost a legitimate one.
Except for one thing, and here's an argument to that, and we're on the same page, obviously, but here's an argument that I would have to that. Back in those days, there was no financial gain by writing a book. There were no publishers. You didn't make money by writing.
Yeah, well, I'm experiencing that myself. I'll explain that statement later if you wish. But
but what I'm trying to say is that when these guys would write stuff down, they had no reason to glorify. First of all, women were belittled in those days, and all the women, well, many of the women in the Bible are elevated. Why would they do that if it wasn't true? Why would they write these things if they were just trying to write a fictional story? Why would they do that?
Well, the Apostle Paul actually made the statement once. He says that they draw men away to themselves. So there probably wasn't financial gain in it, so to speak. It's not like they're going to be buying a beach home in Bimini, but they do have the motivation of power. And, hey, let's just face it, it's the 3 G's, isn't it? It always destroys everything that has any value in life, the gold, glory, and girls, right? and it's the glory that was the motivation then. Paul says, when I go away, there's going to be deceivers that are going to enter in, and they're going to draw people away to themselves. So this is a power play. That would be a motivation on their part to change this story. As a matter of fact, you keep me right on time. I don't want to get you.
No. You're doing good. You're doing good. I do have to take a break, but the book that we are talking about today, the book that you wrote, Think Red Ink, is an autobiography. But I love the way getting back to the logic part. I love the way you have shown that you also struggled, as I did, with trying to believe what I was supposed to believe at face value just because I was told it.
Yes.
By the time I became a teenager, and same thing with you, we were saying, "Come on, have I been told? Is this another Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Is this another Santa Claus?"
Right.
But then when you said, "Okay, well, let me look at this closely," you did the same thing I did. You came to the same conclusions, and because of the red letters. Because of the actual words of Jesus.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, it was the most. It was one of the happiest days in my life because I was very close to atheism. Because when I was looking at these things logically, and I started realizing there's a lot of lies attached to the gospel. Like you, I said, "Oh my goodness, these lies aren't attached to Jesus, are they?" Well, this is when I really started falling in love with the atheist. I appreciate the atheist stand on a lot of these things.
Right. But you can't blame the atheists, and here's why. Because when you have a guy on TV, a television ministry, and the guy is squinting his eyes and he's going, here's a message for somebody out there with a heart condition.
Yeah.
You got to send me $1,000 right now. You know, how can you blame the atheists when that's the message that they're Yeah, you can't blame the atheist, and I don't blame the atheist. Here's what my message to the atheist is this. Please don't think that these idiots represent God. That's right.
Because they don't. He's getting a bad rap. He hates him as much as you do.
That's all right. I believe that too. All right, let's take a little break and we'll be right back. I love this interview. We'll be right back. Hold on.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, more clouds and sun, along with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, high 82 to 86. There'll be a shower and thunderstorm around tonight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies overnight, low 71 to 75. For tomorrow, considerable cloudiness with a couple of showers and heavy thunderstorms around, high 82 to 86. And for Friday, variable cloudiness with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, high 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Central Florida Eye Institute is the area's leader in laser vision correction. From high-definition refraction surgery and LASIK vision correction to custom cataract, glaucoma, and diabetic treatment, you can count on Dr. Crowley and his effective, friendly staff to provide you with the quality care you deserve. Call 352-237-8400 for an appointment or more information. That number again is 352-237-8400. Looking forward to service your vision needs.
This weather is brought to you by your local Safeway water dealer, who would like to remind you to drink plenty of water each day to keep the doctor away.
Cookies, 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 cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies, cookies,
Yum.
cookies, cookies. We go cookie-eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
But in one recent study, sleep apnea patients experienced better quality sleep when they slept at an incline of 45 degrees compared to on their back. Attendants hate it when passengers use the galley as a clubhouse. Attendant Nia Monet says, "Do I come to your office to do yoga and hang out?" Just 3 minutes of Tetris can help kill cravings on the spot.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Babcock Street in Melbourne, Florida hasn't always been the paved and painted 4-lane highway it is now, and the little clinic on the riverbank along US 1 was once the Brevard Hospital. How do I know? I was born in that hospital and learned to walk holding my mom's hand beside the narrow, sandy road called Babcock. Today, a stranger may point at the lot beside the old Dairy Queen building on Babcock Street and say, "That's where Don's house used to be." He would be right, but he would be speaking from what he can only assume to be facts. When I say it, I know it because I was there. However, that's as far back as my experience can carry me. For everything else preceding that time, I must trust the testimony of others.
There you go. And that's the way it begins in the audiobook version of Think Red Ink. Don C. Harris is the author of that. And if that didn't get you wanting to hear more, I don't know what will. I just love the way you started that. And it makes so much sense when you think about it in those terms. I can tell you anything about my life from first person. And I'm the only one I can speak first person about is me. I can't speak first person about Robin or about my father, except for the times I spent with my father. So,
Right.
And one of the stories that you have in your book about thinking and knowing is that your dad did some secret stuff at the Cape, and he would tell you some things, and then you confronted him one day and told him you didn't believe him. And that really started you thinking about other things and about trust.
Sure. The trust is one of the words in the liturgy of Christianity today. Faith. We have relabeled hope and called hope faith, and it's not true. You can hope for the Tooth Fairy. You can hope for Santa Claus to bring you presents. You can have hope that you're going to get over cancer, but that's not faith. Faith in God is putting faith in His Word, in what He actually says to you. This thing is not as convoluted as it's been made out. And as I said before, my heart goes out to the atheist, because many atheists that I've met, they've already been through church. They've already been there. And I call a lot of this stuff that preachers preach today, well, there's atheist fertilizer. The church today is creating atheists by what they're doing.
In a lot of ways, yes. Now, when somebody will say he's a good Christian man, I always take exception to that, and I always say, well, wait a minute. There are some really good atheist people out there. There are some really good Jewish people out there. There are some really good Muslim people. In fact, people don't like to hear that because Muslims are considered to be the bad guys in the world right now. But not the ones.
It's very popular to hate them.
Not the ones I know. The ones I know are just as good as anybody else I know. But I do think that if you're going to say anything about a Christian, it's simply the fact that you recognize the belief that was taught by Christ Himself, and that seems to be the same conclusion you came to.
Well, not to elevate my book to some glorious heights or anything, but the truth is that what is revealed in this book actually could be the impetus, the motivation, the tool, if you will, to unite the three fighting religious groups of the Christians, the Jews, the Muslims. Because the truth is that all three of these faiths all go back to a central point, which is Abraham. And nobody disagrees on Abraham. And guess what Abraham is? He's the father of faith. And the Bible teaches us that anyone who is in Christ is Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. This could be a wonderful tool to unite this, but there's no way this is going to happen until we're all willing to lay down all the foolishness and all the fairy tales and all the stuff and get down to business about true Christian living.
And what is the lesson? What were the messages of Jesus Himself? And were the messages all that different from the Messiah, but the rabbis before him?
Mm-hmm.
There was one huge difference, but aside from rising from the dead, there was pretty much the same message.
The truth is that anybody who has a true Christian experience, a true relationship with God, there is nothing in him to hate a Jew or to hate a Muslim or to hate a Palestinian or a black man or any of the rest of this stuff. And these people who bark this stuff from their pulpit, you need to grab your purse and get up and get out of there.
Yeah.
Because that guy's dangerous.
Right. So what I'm confused about, though, is why in the notes does it say the Bible is ruining my religion? Would it be the Bible? Or would it be somebody's interpretation of the Bible?
Well, no, actually, it was when men quit interpreting the Bible and I started reading in there things that ruined my religion.
Oh, I see what you mean.
My religion says that it's okay to take up an offering in public. Jesus says it's not.
Okay, gotcha.
My religion says it's okay to pray in public. Jesus said it's not. My religion says we should swear to God in court. Jesus said, don't do that. I could go on. I mean, we do not do what Jesus said, and we don't do what he told us to do. And Jesus asked a wonderful question: why do you call me Lord and not do what I say? Well, I have to ask the same question.
Yeah, right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I now I understand what that means. Okay, the book and the audio books are the same thing, correct?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so if you prefer to listen, you can get the CDs. Are they also available as downloads?
I think they are. But people are welcome to write to me. Now, the reason most people are interested in downloads is because of the cost involved, but they need to know that this ministry is peculiar in the fact that we do not sell anything ever. Anybody you can get my book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, all those kind of things. But if you go there, you will pay for that book because they require that, not me. And if you want this book, all you have to do is go to thinkredink.com and just say, I want the book, and I'll send it to you. Because I am under a mandate. Some people say a bridle. But the truth is, I'm not allowed to sell anything. God has made it very clear to me that money ruins everything it touches. And he wants it. He does not want that as a part of my ministry, and it never has been. It never will be. We never ask for money. We don't take up offerings. We don't bark at you about tithing. We don't do those things here because we just happen to believe that if God wants these things to continue, they will.
You're the second pastor in all my life that I've ever heard say that.
Yeah.
I've only known.
I would say that I was probably the first guy too. Back when I did the other interview.
Did you break your arm? Is your arm in a cast when you were a little boy? I'm looking at the picture on the back of the book.
Yeah, I fell out of a tree.
All right, so I have a copy of Think Red Ink, both the book and I have 2 CDs here, and I guess that's the whole book on 2 CDs. So I can take 2 callers, one who wants the audiobook, and I'll give you both CDs, and the other person who wants the book, the printed book. Call me right now. I'm sorry?
Each CD is the book.
Oh, each CD is a complete book?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
they are MP3s.
Okay, so I have 2 audiobooks and 1 actual book. Okay, gotcha.
And this.
Call me if you want them. Go to Don's website. Is it donharris.com? Is that right?
DonCHarris.com.
Okay, yes. DonCHarris.com.
Or ThinkRedInk.com.
ThinkRedInk.com.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Don, we're
INK.
right. Let me get this away real quickly. Good morning. You've got one of which one would you want?
I prefer the book.
The book. You've got the book. What's your first name?
Lois.
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 It'll be waiting for you right here. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lois. And we do have 2 other audiobooks if anybody wants them. They're both CDs, but I think you have to play them on your computer, it sounds like, because they're MP3s.
Well, you can also download MP3s into your iPhone, iPod, those kind of things. They make nice traveling companions.
Okay.
You can put up with me for that long.
Don, I love having you on the show. I'd love to have you back again. B, if you're ever in the area, definitely come into the studio and do this. We broadcast now from the Paddock Mall, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I appreciate the invitation. It was fun.
We are running a little bit late, and I apologize for that. We'll take a little break and be right back. Thank you, Don. You're listening to The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Meet Vince. Vince hurt himself mountain biking on Saturday.
Because weekend warrior.
Because noob.
Hey.
Vince is supposed to host an important presentation, but he's not going anywhere in that cast. What should he do?
Rhetorical question.
Vince should try GoToMeeting, the simple way to host meetings online, complete with video conferencing and screen sharing. Send out a meeting link and anyone can join from any computer, tablet, or smartphone. Just takes a click.
Where do I sign up?
Visit GoToMeeting.com to start your free 30-day trial. That's GoToMeeting.com.
Right now at the Home Depot, save 20% when you buy 1 or more pallets of in-stock GAF shingles. So let's raise the roof and lower the cost with bulk pricing on top-of-the-line GAF shingles, including Timberline, America's favorite shingle. This is worth shouting from the rooftops. Let's do this. Save 20% on 1 or more pallets of in-stock GAF shingles at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through September 30th, U.S. only. See store for details.
Are you looking for a durable farm fence to keep your horses enclosed or a beautiful vinyl fence to give that finishing touch to your home? Seminole Fence has over 20 years of experience in providing quality fence products and services for farm and residential properties. Let them surround your property with a fence that provides privacy, security, and stunning appeal. Don't wait. Contact them today at 352-208-0959 for a free estimate. Seminole Fence, working hard to build fences and harder to build relationships. You're listening to Florida State Football on WOCA, brought to you by the fine sponsorship of Ocala BMW Porsche, Tri-Eagle Sales and Distribution, and the Marion County Seminoles Club. We'd like to thank all our fine sponsors for all their contributions so that we can bring you Florida State Seminoles football. So once again, thanks to Ocala BMW Porsche, Tri-Eagle Sales, and the